Good. Hijo de puta. Hey guys, welcome back. So this is gonna be the third and final installment, I guess, to the series. I wasn't planning on this being a three-parter, but some things have come up and I wanted to address everything and address everyone, especially the people who like to go in my comment sections and try to make it out like I'm scared of responding back to a certain email that a certain someone sent me, which is fucking hilarious because, John, you could sit in my comment section all you fucking want and say, oh, well, this person and the person who made this video has conveniently decided to ignore me and I have all the receipts, da-da-da. We'll address those receipts in just 2 seconds. Just sit the fuck down. A few days ago, I uploaded 2 separate exposure videos on John Kuckian, okay? And in the time between me posting the videos and today, up to me filming this, I have gotten comments from John. I've gotten 3 separate emails from John, and he was in a comment section kind of like bragging, if you will. That's what he does best, is brag. He was bragging about how I hadn't gotten back to him in the emails because I was conveniently ignoring him, almost making it sound like I was too afraid to respond back to him. Let me tell you one thing right away. The very last person I would ever be afraid of is you. Clearly. In any case, John watched the videos and I must have, like I said earlier, I must have hit a nerve with him. And I'm going to discuss everything and I'm going to pretty much just call him out for what I figured this whole thing out to be. Because at the end of everything, of reading all the emails, reading all the text messages, John, that you included in your emails to me that I already had possession of. Like, they literally sent me every piece of evidence that directly contradicts everything you've ever said up until this point, even in your recent emails. So that's the reason why I'm sitting down and doing this response video, because I'm gonna get everything out on the fucking table, and this will be that. The reason I did not respond back to you is not because I'm afraid of you. It's not because I'm ignoring you. It's because I just didn't feel like getting in a lengthy argument in the comment section of my videos. I responded back to your first comment that you left. That's about it. That's all I had time for, really. And I just didn't feel like having a lengthy conversation with someone who has been so vile and vindictive and malicious to so many fucking people, including this couple. And you know what, John? Just to be, you know, kind of unbiased in this, you made a comment that I conveniently left out the voice clip that you posted to, I'm pretty sure it was Twitter.
And that's how it goes. Because I'm smart, you're stupid, he's fucking retarded. You understand? You understand? You say like.
Of these people having a breakdown. It wasn't even these people, it was the woman having a breakdown, but you felt like it was a good idea for you to fucking post that shit, the breakdown, to your fucking Twitter. Why would you do that? Like, what do you gain from that? Like, does that gain you notoriety or something? Like, I don't understand why you would do that, but at the end of the day, I now realize exactly why you did that. You were trying to build up excitement for a future story time that you were gonna do, John. And you know what? I'll get more into that at the end of this video. The text messages you sent to me, I already had. I already had them. Like they were useless to me. And so that's pretty much the extent of what you sent to me. The rest of it was just you dragging me for putting this video up, but I'll get to that in a second. First and foremost, regarding the voice clips you sent to me, I'm pretty sure there were 2 separate voice clips that you sent to me in those emails, John. I'm not going to be including these voice clips in this video. I've already forwarded them to the family that you took them from, that you illegally obtained them from, and what they do with them is up to them. That's not my business. That's up to them. Maybe you should have researched privacy laws in the state that you were living in at the time before you started to gather evidence for a story time. I don't know, just my opinion. And you can sit there and say, I had no intention of making this story public. I had no intention of doing this and this and that, when you directly contradict yourself in these 3 clips.
I have so many story times I could give you about, there's a woman that I met on Craigslist that was renting a room in a house, and I rented it online and I was there for like 3 or 4 days, and I had to leave because it was just such a disaster, and I had to leave so dramatically, and then the person that was supposed to pick me up just f***ed me over in the worst possible way and was then texting me loads of shit. There's a whole other situation I'm not going to talk about for now. I have to wait and see what happens, but if I decide to do that scandal, it would be one of the biggest story times I think I probably ever would have spoken about on YouTube, and I have receipts, photographs, videos, everything. But for now, as long as that person doesn't come anywhere near me, I'm not going to talk about anything to do with that for now. There's a whole other situation I'm not going to talk about for now.
There's a whole other situation I'm not going to talk about for now.
I have to wait and see what happens, but if I decide to do that scandal,
I have to wait and see what happens, but if I decide,
it would be one of the biggest story times I think I probably ever would have spoken about on YouTube, and I have receipts, photographs, videos, everything. But for now, as long as that person doesn't come anywhere near me, I'm not going to talk about anything to do with that for now. I was living with a girl that went literally psycho. Like, she actually went psycho and was screaming she was going to burn the house down. Her husband was crying. I think she'd hit him in the face because he had like a thing here, and she's told me that she's hit him before.
like she hit him in front of me a few days earlier.
Like, some horrible things happened at the place I was staying at before that. And I have voice notes of the whole thing. Like, I have, it's not like a story time where it's like, did that really happen? Like, I actually have videos, audios, text messages, everything. Like, I always keep my receipts. But sometimes I just feel like I'm putting negativity out there, and I'm not like a normal person on YouTube that can talk about something and then not get harassed. Like, if I did any sort of story time, I would just get instantly harassed about it. And received an email from someone, invited me to come and stay with them. It was a very, very long, detailed, exquisite email, and I made the decision to go and stay with them, but after a few weeks they went completely insane. I have voice notes of the entire thing. This person went completely mental and threatened to burn the house down with me inside. I'm not going to talk too much about that because I'm happy to leave that chapter closed for now.
I'm not going to talk too much about that because I'm happy to leave that chapter closed for now.
I knew exactly what was going on. The very second I got that Instagram TV clip from people, I knew exactly what you were doing, what you were planning on doing, John. You were going to make this video. That's the reason why in the Instagram TV video, you decided to add on some more shit saying that you had physically watched this woman assault her husband, which I know is bullshit. By building up the story with more and more like details, like juicy details, you know exactly what to say to get the attention of your subscribers, of anybody who's maybe a potential subscriber, whatever the case may be. You knew what you were doing. You were pretty much just gauging their interest and seeing if they'd be interested in that story. The reason you're so pissed off at me, John, is because this story, well, like you said, was supposed to be the biggest story time video you've ever had in your channel. And I took that from you because these people decided at the very last second, you know what, I'm not gonna fucking be threatened into silence the way you were threatening them, saying if this person stays away from me, I won't go into this story, I won't do this. That's a fucking threat.
But for now, as long as that person doesn't come anywhere near me, I'm not going to talk about anything to do with that for now.
I'm happy because they went to anybody and decided for themselves they weren't gonna allow you to bully them into silence over something that, quite frankly, you had no fucking right to do. They could have gone to Here for the Tea. They could have gone to anybody. There are so many channels, John, that would have taken the story and did exactly what I did because it's what's right. Because you have done so many negative fucking malicious, vile things to so many fucking people and you've gotten away with it every single fucking time. Not this time, John. And I am so proud of these people for speaking out against you and showing you for the vile, malicious person you are. I've seen countless Snapchat stories and tweets about you gathering evidence against pretty much everyone you stayed with while you were here stateside. And that's disturbing. Like, that's not normal. Like, why do you do that? Like, I don't understand it. And the fact that it's like repeated behavior that we've seen from you before just makes it all the more disturbing because we know that's what you do. At one point, John, you probably don't remember me whatsoever, but I used to comment on all your videos before you started to go to the fucking dark side, which I hate making the comparison with Star Wars and shit because I fucking love Star Wars, but god damn it, that fucking applies because you used to be so much fun and entertaining to watch until you started to become the bad apple that you are now. And now you're just not even bad, you are a fucking rotten apple. You are a terrible fucking person for everything you've done up until this point. There was a point in time where I loved your channel. I watched every single video. I liked every single video. I shared every single video. As a matter of fact, back when I was watching you a while ago, I even made like palette snap references in my video back when you were referencing the Nikki Tutorials collaboration or some bullshit you were doing, but you had a palette and you would snap it close in slow motion. I made those references in my video because I loved watching your content. And I had so many people, all Cookie fam, Titty fam, whatever the fuck you call yourself now. I had so many people commenting, yes, girl, Titty fam, yes, girl, Cookie fam, whatever the fuck they're called now. And I was like, yes, like this was, I love that shit. Like I loved your content. And then you went and took an abrupt fucking right turn and out of nowhere went into doing some malicious, vicious, vile ass shit. And my eyes opened immediately. And I was like, girl, this cookie Kool-Aid tastes kind of sour. That's neither here nor there. I'm no longer part of Cookie fam or whatever the fuck you call yourselves now. I don't drink the Kool-Aid. My eyes are fucking wide open to your bullshit, John. And you know what? Just going back to you having voice clips of these people, not only these people, but also people who you used to consider your closest friends. Who does that? Like it doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. And quite frankly, the fact that you had the audacity to bring up these old as Jesus himself fucking voice clips that you at one point had already put out into the world and people had already said, John, shut the fuck up about it, it's over. Like literally everyone you tried to expose in those voice clips, they've already moved on. As a matter of fact, all of them are now talking and shouting each other out on Twitter, like all the time. You are literally the only person who is still concerned with what all of them are doing, and you're still trying to push this narrative that these people are bad people. You are still the only one trying to create drama where there is no drama between these people. You are the only one. That tea kettle has been bone dry for a fucking long ass time. Let it go. And for you to now continue that disturbing behavior of recording people behind their back, recording conversations between a husband and wife that have nothing to fucking do with you, to do it to these people who only genuinely had good intentions to make sure that you had a better life than what you were living when you were all over the fucking place, had no fucking money, had no place to stay, had no fucking vehicle. You were fucking lost, John, essentially. You said it yourself. You needed help. And these people reached out to you in response to the video that you deleted for whatever reason, and they were telling you, listen, come stay with us, we can give you a better life, we can try to give you a better life, whatever you want to do, whatever it is we can do to help you, we want to do that for you. And this is what you do, you gather evidence against them for a story time that you can sit the fuck down and stop saying that you weren't going to create some content on them and expose the shit out of them in a fucking story time, because I know that is a load of fucking bullshit. Like I said, as for those voice clips that you illegally obtained, I sent them right over to this couple because that was their conversation, that was their situation to deal with, and what they choose to do with it is on them. Now, regarding your bullshit 34-minute my biggest scandals, this is what not to do when you're a socialite, a perfect socialite on YouTube video, first and foremost, thank you for taking away 34 minutes of everyone's life they will never get back. Because quite frankly, John, I went into this video hoping and praying that you would have used this video to kind of like start to try to redeem yourself after everything you've done. I was hoping for an apology. I was hoping for you to own up to things. But man, was I fucking wrong. If you have not watched it and you've been morbidly curious, save your time. Because quite frankly, the only thing I got from that entire video was John basically just doing his own version of rehashing the past, but leaving a couple different things out, which I'll get into in a little bit. He was just rehashing things and saying, oh, I do regret doing this. However, and then somehow flipped it into him being the victim in every single situation. That is what you do best, John. You can never just be like, you know what, I fucked up and I'm sorry. No, you say I fucked up, but whenever you put but in what's supposed to be or what could have been an apology, that invalidates anything you said before that. Every single time. You're not sorry. You don't regret anything you've done. As a matter of fact, you've only benefited from it and you've gotten away with everything. For now. If this video showed me anything, it's that you have zero self-awareness, zero remorse, and zero respect for anybody except yourself. I mean, you hold yourself to the highest standards, clearly. Because John can do no wrong at all. Okay. You were basically teasing about the fact that channels like mine need your picture in the thumbnail. Channels like mine need your name in the tags, need your name in the titles of our videos. But here's the thing. Don't flatter yourself, please. I understand, like I said just a few seconds ago, that you like to give yourself all the credit for everyone's success, which you have made very apparent by saying,
those people like Here for the Tea that I made friends with that reached out to me and I promoted them, I nurtured them, I cared for them, I taught them how things work. You know, they would use my name in their thumbnails and their titles, they would copy my editing style and the thumbnails and stuff like that. I was just super supportive because I thought to myself, I'm going to be in this position where when I overtake sadness, people are just going to start hating me for no reason, like I can sense it. And I thought, if I have friends there to support me, at least there's going to be people that know my character and know that whilst I'm a flawed person and I often make mistakes and I can be reactive, like I'm not some evil crazy person. You can show someone the world, you can love them, you can adore them, you can take them from when they're earning $2,000 a month to where they're working and earning $10,000 a month, and despite that, when they get to a position where they're happy, they'll just dump you. Like, despite the fact that they had nothing before they met you, they'll just move on and delete the evidence, hide the videos. And that's just how social media works. There's no sort of like people looking out for each other. There's no sort of like, well, I helped you, so I'm going to be there for you. It just doesn't exist. And that was definitely a big lesson for me because I've always been about real friendships and real loyalty, and I don't like to have fake friends and stuff like that. This might sound weird to say, but I feel like I never should have helped Rich the way that I helped Rich. And that's not anything against Rich whatsoever, but it's how it affected my channel. And I used to promote the shit out of Rich. I used to share his videos across my Facebook, my Twitter. I used to talk about him on YouTube. I used to include him in my videos. Karina Kaboom did the same thing when Karina Kaboom was bigger than Rich. She used to always include him in the intro, and it was just the stupidest thing I could have done because as this hate fest grew when I overtook Sanders, my comments were beginning to be moderated because there was crazy stuff happening with groups of people, like the same people. But then when I shared my audience with Rich, I kind of thought he would have a responsibility to like not let those people thrive there, because it's almost my audience that I shared with him, and I helped him and I promoted him and I said he was a really great person. And the same with Karina. Like, I never expected how much, after I'd helped Karina so much, when I first found Karina, she didn't really know how ads worked on YouTube. And this again is my mistake, but like I showed her how you add ads into a video, like multiple ads, and now there's like 100 ads in every video. I'm sorry. But when I first found her, she was just very chill. She did YouTube. She might have made 500 a month. I think when finance gets involved, it changes a lot of people.
You like to give yourself a fuck ton of credit where it's definitely not due, especially when it comes to those channels. Sorry. You need to humble yourself very, very quickly. And you know what? In the case of my channel, do not ever feel like you could flatter yourself about how much you helped my channel, because quite frankly, in the past 2 days, I maybe gained maybe 50 subscribers and gotten good views, but I can point you to a number of different videos. I have gotten more views in a single day than yours raked in for my channel. But okay, go ahead and pat yourself on the back for that, I guess. You call me and my subs bullies, which is comical. You had the audacity and the balls to get on camera and say that Peter and his subscribers were malicious and aggressive. Let me stop you right the fuck there. The same way you say that I conveniently ignored you for whatever reason in the comment section of my videos, you conveniently forget how fucked up you and your subscribers were to people like Peter Mon just last Christmas. Do you need a reminder of the damage you inflicted, you and your subscribers inflicted on this person's livelihood?
And I mean, in the 5 minutes I walked in the door, I have gotten like 6 messages talking about, you deserve to die, you're a disgusting human being. Like, when is this character assassination going to stop? Why is anybody at this point standing behind John Kuckian? I do not understand why not everybody is, I just don't understand this, you guys. I'm like so upset about this. Like, I don't even know what to do anymore. It's like now I'm having to like defend myself about this, and every move, I can't sleep because I don't know when the next post is gonna go up that I'm gonna have to do something about. I am so frustrated at this point.
And what makes this entire thing that much more disturbing, John, is the fact that this is not behavior that we have not seen before. We have seen you make very, very disturbing allegations, false allegations, against other people. As a matter of fact, you had claimed that Jaclyn Hill a while ago had groomed you. However, you saved the absolute worst for Peter. And your subscribers, the very second you said those words against him, your subscribers were fucking merciless in their attacks, sending death threats daily, all night, every night, all day, every day, attacking his subscribers mercilessly, commenting disgusting shit on his videos for the longest fucking time. And you sat there and you did this entire situation. You fabricated this entire situation and talked about it with the biggest smile on your face. You are the most disturbed individual I think I have ever come across, had the misfortune of ever coming across. You now, to this day, continue to push the same bullshit story with the same allegations against the same person without any remorse. Once again, with a little grin on your face the entire time. You fucking disgust me. So, John, before you go pointing any one of the 10 grimy ass fingers you have attached to your fucking hand at me or Peter or any one of the other drama channels who report on you for having malicious and vile fucking subscribers and calling us hate channels and malicious and vile people, make sure your fucking hands are clean before you point fingers, because yours are the dirtiest, grimiest fucking fingers out of anybody here on YouTube. And that says a lot, because there are a lot of other people who've done some shitty things, but you take the fucking cake. So if you want to be proud about anything, John, I guess that'd be it for you. Now going back to the rest of this situation, because there's more. I read through everything you sent to me, like I said earlier, and everything you had said to me was basically you just going after me for making the video. And you tried to guilt trip me, tried to make me feel bad about everything. You even went as far as saying, I'm not going to ask you to take the videos down because I know you need this for your channel to grow. Once again, don't flatter yourself. You don't help my channel whatsoever. I promise. At the end of everything, looking at all the evidence presented to me on both sides, John, because you can't say now that I haven't looked at what you sent to me.
Like, she actually went psycho and was screaming she was going to burn the house down. Her husband was crying. I think she'd hit him in the face because he had, like, a thing here, and she's told me that she's hit him before. In fact, she hit him in front of me a few days earlier. Like, some horrible things happened at the place I was staying at before that. And I have voice notes of the whole thing. Like, I have... It's not like a story time where it's like, did that really happen? Like, I actually have videos, audios, text messages, everything. Like, I always keep my receipts.
The fact of the matter is, you didn't want me, or anybody else for that matter. Like I said, they could have sent this information to anybody else. But the fact is, John, you didn't want anybody else, I should say, to expose this story. You wanted to do this story, which is why you amped it up as being the biggest story time video you've ever had on your channel. Speaking of the husband, I've got a direct statement from him, and I want to read it to you guys, so I will do that now. Here's what you can expect if you invite John Kuckian into your home and share your belongings with him. He'll be nice to you when you're together, giving you the impression that he is your best friend. He will take advantage of everything you give him access to, ultimately taking equal ownership of your assets and belongings. He will expect more and more from you, showing disappointment when he doesn't get things his way, generally in a subtle, underhanded way. Backhanded compliments under a shroud of jealousy that was specifically towards the wife. He will overtly and secretly record you so as to be able to embarrass you and blackmail you when he wears out his welcome. The recordings will begin long before you detect that the relationship has started to deteriorate. He will maintain his composure and appearance of good graces so that he can look like the bigger person when he drives you to the point where you cannot take it anymore. A persistent threat of retaliation when the relationship ends. One of the things John had mentioned in my emails a couple of different times was the fact that he went through a traumatic experience with this couple. Yet, I remember people posting on Twitter Snapchats of you around the time of your stay with this couple, and every other Snapchat was you with these people's dogs, you showing off this woman's purses, you happy and smiling. Even though you were so scared for your life, that didn't hinder your channel or your content being up to date, because you filmed quite a bit while you were there.
Stay until till we permanently moved into the mansion because he got here early. The fairy lights he used in his background that you'll see.
John, if you truly felt like your life was in any kind of danger at any point in time, why did you not call the police? Even better, why did you not run? Because we now know that the room you stayed in the basement, according to this footage.
So you walk in, this is like a bed, like a futon I bought for him to stay in till we permanently moved into the mansion because he got here early. The fairy lights he used in his background that you'll see in his videos. Here's the desk he was working from in his massage chair, chandelier, reflector, all the professional lighting equipment that is mine that I let him use, my home gym, TV, more gym equipment as you can see. Look, again, there's no locked doors anywhere. The only door you can lock is this one and from the inside, so you can easily just, hi, hello, and you're out.
Shows that you had easy access to the outside world without having to go into the main home and confront the couple. So with that being said, John, I ask you one more time, why did you not, if you truly felt like your life was in any kind of danger at any point in time, why did you not leave the house or call the police? And don't give me this bullshit excuse that you used earlier in the tweets from the night you left saying, oh, well, I'm in the middle of nowhere. If your life is truly in danger, it doesn't matter where the fuck you are. You fucking get the fuck out of wherever the fuck you are that's causing you any kind of harm or even a threat of harm. Number one. Are you gonna give us the same bullshit excuse you gave us back in December that the cops don't really do anything about things like this? Well, you may have used that excuse in regards to the December situation back in the UK. But here in the US, we do things a little bit differently. I'm not sure how they do things there, but here, whenever someone has a claim of my life is in danger, this person's going to kill me, if a cop had seen all the shit you were posting, I guarantee you action would have been taken. You made this entire bullshit story seem worse than what it was. There was definitely abuse in that household, and I watched that woman punch him a few days prior. A few days prior to what? You leaving? How convenient. And you can go on and on and on about the screaming and the yelling, but I think it's very hypocritical of anyone to sit there and try to use something like that against anybody when we have all been pushed to the point in relationships, whether it be friendships, family relationships, whatever the case may be. We've all been pushed to a point where we want to fucking scream our fucking lungs out at somebody. If screaming automatically means that people are being abused, that means I've been abused, my mom has been abused, my brothers have been abused by me, I've been abused by them. Do you see the logic in that whatsoever? Because I don't. You want to come at me with the bullshit about lines you don't cross on YouTube as far as what's tea? John, you of all fucking people want to sit there and tell me there are lines you don't cross on YouTube. You know what, John? You're fucking right. Let's discuss those lines, shall we? John, please tell me, where the fuck was this line when you capitalized off Mrezi's breakdown and made ringtones out of it? Where was that line, John? Where was this line, John, when you made baseless grooming allegations against Jaclyn Hill? And it's funny, you didn't mention regretting that in yesterday's video. Why is that? Why didn't you bring that up, John? Do you not regret making those allegations? You must not. There are a lot of things you left out of that video. Let's go into those as well. Where was the line, John, when you extorted money out of Thomas Halbert in exchange for you not releasing his nudes? Where the fuck was the line then, John? Please tell me. Where was this line when you accused even more people of grooming and child grooming? It didn't stop with Jacqueline. You dragged Here for the Tea. You dragged Thomas Halbert. You dragged Rich Lux. Where the fuck is the line, John? Where do you stop? Please tell me. And here's the biggest one, John. If you have the balls to respond to me, I hope you do. If you can give me an answer, that would be awesome. Where the fuck was this line, John, that you're bitching about me crossing by exposing you and your bullshit? Where the fuck was this line last Christmas when you sought out to single-handedly destroy Peter? Where the fuck was that line then? Did it not exist? Does it only exist when it comes to people calling you out? I will never forget the evil I was looking at in those videos, especially the first one. I will never forget the smile, that shitty ass fucking grin ass smile you had in your face the entire time you spoke so disgustingly about someone with no receipts to back up anything you were saying. You enjoyed every fucking second that you spent making that video, saying these disgusting allegations, baseless allegations against an innocent fucking person. And you have the balls to get on camera again in yesterday's video and try to push the same tired ass stories with the same disgusting allegations, and you want to sit there and chastise me about lines you don't fucking cross on YouTube as far as what's tea and what's not. Fuck you, John. You disgust not only me, but every single other person with a fucking brain, with eyes wide open, who sees you for the fucking snake you are. In closing, my abuelita, she's a wealth of knowledge. She always has been. But the one thing that has been a resounding theme over the past few months of my life, I should say in particular, is that I should always pay more attention to people's actions than their words, and I'm fairly certain we've all heard different versions of that cliche, I guess you could call it. But in this case in particular, nothing rings more true, because John will sit there, and like I've showed you guys in the emails and everything, he will sit there and point his grimy little fingers at me and people like me who expose him, calling us haters, calling us jealous, bad, and malicious, and all this bullshit, right? Just because we make content about him, and he makes fun of that all the time, like I said earlier. He likes to make fun of people who watch his shit even though we hate him, supposedly, right? And so, with that being said, while he's saying all those things and calling us all those names, he fails to recognize that we make the videos we make because we are responding to his actions. And his actions are malicious. His actions are vile. They are calculated. He knows what he's doing. I'm not going to sit here and say that he's dumb. There are a lot of things that, yes, he has done that are very dumb. Case in point, fabricating receipts that look piss poor in quality. But he is a very smart individual, and he's very calculated in his actions. And one of the things that caught my eye towards the end of the investigation, looking into everything as far as the story, was something that the husband had said in his testimony that I read a couple minutes ago. He mentions that John is sweet as can be until he either faces rejection or he feels like something is not going his way, he's not going to get his way, right? And we know that John is like that. We just saw it a couple days ago when he tried to expose Rich Lux in front of Jeffree Star for some bullshit that no one gives a fuck about anymore. It was pretty pathetic. We see that. We see that behavior and we're like, wow, you're sad. But if you look at everything that John has done to everybody, when it comes to the allegations, when it comes to him blackmailing people and all this bullshit, he does it to people who have done him wrong, who have rejected him. You know what I mean? You can look at every situation that I've brought up in this video. Tawny, I'm putting her video down below for you guys to watch because I think it's a really good recollection of everything he has done up until this point. If you look at everything that he has done, there is a reason he has done it. This whole thing is calculated. He says all the right things to make himself seem positive, to make himself seem like doesn't give a shit about what we have to say about him, because we're just haters, you know, we're just jealous and we're malicious and we're vindictive, we're all these things, right? But like I said, he fails to realize that we're reacting to things he says and does, more specifically the things he does, right? And so I want to leave John with this. I want to leave this video off with this, John. Where is your line, John? Where is the line that you will not cross? because you've crossed so many fucking lines during the duration of your time here on YouTube. You've crossed so many fucking people who at one point cared about you. You have done people wrong, like this couple, who only tried to help you. Where is your line? When are you going to stop doing what you're doing? Because it's clearly, John, not working. If people like me are still here calling you out on your bullshit and exposing you for being the asshole you have been for a very long time, when is it going to be enough to make you realize that what you're doing is not working and you need to stop? You are an adult, John. You like to refer to yourself as a young boy, but you're not. You are an adult. You are responsible for your own actions. And if you want to sit on camera and push this bullshit ass story that, oh, I did all these things, but I was the victim in all of them, then you have a lot more growing up to do than we all think you do. You are very, very far removed from reality if you think that you are the victim of all the situations you put yourself in the middle of, that you started for yourself. Where is your line, John? That's all I'm gonna say. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. I love you guys so, so much.